All right, so today's January 31st, and yesterday, January 30th, the NBA finally announced all of the All-Stars, both in the East and West. We knew the starters just a couple days ago, but now that they listed all of the reserves, we can finally take a look at it. And I kind of want to go over a couple of things that caught my eye and a couple of problems I have with the All-Star game. But I'm just going to get started with it, and I'm going to get started in the East. The starters, we all know: Trae Young, Kemba Walker, Pascal Siakam, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Joel Embiid. I like this list a lot. I think it's pretty accurate. The only issue I have with it, really, is that Jimmy Butler should have been listed as a guard, not as a forward. That is why Pascal Siakam made it over him. Otherwise, Jimmy Butler would have been a starter. He's the number 2 seed in the East with Miami. And he's having a fantastic year, not taking anything away from Siakam, but Jimmy's playing out of his mind. And then Trae Young is putting up in some insane numbers this year, over 28 points per game, and he's absolutely balling out. But the Atlanta Hawks, on the other hand, are just flat out terrible. Granted, he doesn't have a lot of pieces around him, but Trae Young definitely was an all-star, but not sure if he was quite a starter, but still mad props to Trae Young. He had a great season so far. And then the reserves, you got Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry, Chris Middleton, Domantas Sabonis, Ben Simmons, and Jason Tatum. Now, there's only about 4 players I kind of have a problem with on here: Adebayo, Sabonis, Simmons, and Lowry. Not because I'm not saying that they didn't play like all-stars to this point in the season. That's not what I'm getting at. But what I am saying is the fact that Bradley Beal is not on this list. And even though the Washington Wizards are not having a great year, just like the Atlanta Hawks, Bradley Beal is playing at an all-star level, averaging 28 points per game. And he's not on the all-star. Like, you can argue Bradley Beal over Adebayo, Lowry, Sabonis, and Simmons. Simmons has not really improved since coming into the league, and he's been the exact same player that he is. His stats might change a point or two, a rebound or two, but Ben Simmons is the exact same player. His game has not elevated, and he has not changed. So I agree with Simmons being on the All-Star team, but Bam Adebayo, Simmons, Lowry, and Sabonis, Bradley Beal is better than all 4 of those guys. So Bradley Beal should have been on this list, but otherwise everyone else is deserving. All right, now moving on to the Western Conference. The starters, we got James Harden, Luka Doncic, Kawhi Leonard, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. The only one you can kind of argue shouldn't be starting, I guess, is Kawhi Leonard. Now, Paul George didn't make the team. Everyone knows Paul George is one of the best players in the world, top 10 player, but Paul George has missed a significant amount of time due to that shoulder injury from the previous start of the season. So, of course, Paul George did not make the team, even though you could argue he should have. But Kawhi Leonard starting, I'm a little indifferent. I think Kawhi Leonard is the solidified best player in the world, but this man sits out quite too often, frankly, with his load management. So I think you can make a case for him not starting, but at the end of the day, it's fine. Kawhi Leonard starting. Rudy Gobert, Brandon Ingram, Nikola Jokic, Damian Lillard, Donovan Mitchell, Chris Paul, and Russell Westbrook. Where is Devin Booker? You're telling me Chris Paul, one of the greatest point guards ever, but Chris Paul this year on the OKC Thunder, it made the All-Star game over Devin Booker. Okay, OKC's sitting in the number 7 seed. That's fine and dandy. Phoenix is sitting, the 11 seed, 10 seed? But the problem with that is Damian Lillard made this list, and I'm not discrediting Damian Lillard whatsoever, but the Portland Trailblazers have one more win than the Phoenix Suns. Chris Paul's averaging 17 points a game, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Devin Booker's averaging 27 points a game, shooting 51% from the field, 92% from the line, and 37% from 3. Yet he's not on the All-Star team.
You've got to be crazy!
That does not make any sense whatsoever. I'm not saying Chris Paul's not deserving of an All-Star game. Maybe in the East, but not in the West, and especially not over Devin Booker. That is complete robbery. Personally, I think that when players are actually being voted into the All-Star game, just because you're an All-Star level player does not mean, or you're having an All-Star level year, does not mean you should make the All-Star team. Okay, I think wins should have some sort of factor in that. I think if you're just completely dominating like a Trae Young, or a Bradley Beal, or a Devin Booker, look, they're doing the best that they can, and I think wins should have to do a little bit with it, but those guys are absolutely tearing it up. Chris Paul is not really having an all-star year. He's having subpar numbers, and you're telling me he makes it over Booker. That is absolutely crazy. I do not agree with that whatsoever. And then the second problem I have with this list is Brandon Ingram. Same thing kind of ties in with Devin Booker. What the hell are the Pelicans doing this year? Basically nothing. Okay, I know that they're kind of inching their way towards an 8th seed, kind of getting in that playoff mix, but New Orleans is not scaring anybody. Okay, even with Zion back from injury, New Orleans is not making the playoffs. I said that from the beginning of the year. Brandon Ingram is having a fantastic year. Right now, he's my most improved player of the year award, but you can argue he shouldn't have been in the All-Star game just because of how stacked the West is. But at the end of the day, Brandon Ingram is having an All-Star year, so I'm just going to give props where props is due. Congrats to him. Another thing I want to say is that the NBA doing the format for the Kobe Bryant tribute for the All-Star game I think was really great. Nice little piece, and I like that they're doing their best to represent this in a positive and an influential way. The fan voting is an absolute joke, honestly. Now look, at the end of the day, fan voting is for the fans. I'm a fan, you're a fan, majority of us are all fans, okay? But it's a popularity contest. It makes absolutely no sense that Alex Caruso, Dwight Howard, Carmelo Anthony, Taco Fall, and a bunch of these other subpar, not even good role players, no disrespect, have more votes than guys like Westbrook and Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert and a bunch of other names I'm probably missing. It's obviously just a joke, okay? So I like that the fan voting really doesn't mean anything in the All-Star game. Alex Caruso can go have 5 million votes, but that doesn't mean squat, okay? Because the coaches, the media, and the other votes, those mean a lot more than the fan voting. So I do want to say that fan voting really shouldn't matter. I like that it really doesn't, even though I'm a fan at the end of the day, because it is just a popularity contest. Alrighty, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know, what did you guys think about the All-Star selections, the starters, and the reserves, both in the East and West? Who do you feel like was actually the biggest snub? I definitely think it was Devin Booker, but you can make that case for Bradley Beal as well. Let me know any other video topics you guys want me to discover. I think my next video coming out will be the Western Conference standings predictions for the end of the season. That's it though. Thank you guys so much, and I'm out.